gorgeous? Lovely to see you. And I know it's windy, but I just really wanted to be outside today. Oh, wow, what a morning, what a meditation, gee, I'm not quite back yet, but oh my goodness, it's time and here we are. And apparently what I'm experiencing is going to carry on through the day, so I can't lie on the couch integrating all day. But I'm outside and I'm going to show you the flowers. Hi, Stephanie! Let's get up close with these glorious gladiolus. Look at this. So pretty. And the magic is they haven't been blown over. Hi, Kim. Good morning, beautiful. Look at this. They're just the most fabulous things. They're actually supposed to be another colour. I pinched some teeny tiny bulbs from a public garden. I'd never take the big ones, but, they make babies. But the babies came out like this. And I can't say I'm sorry. Hi, Lisa. We're in gladiolus land today. And look at these. These are fabulous. I don't know that you'll find these anywhere else. These are, I think, a cross. My mother let things run to seed in her garden. Hi, Victor! And this is a cross, I think, between a wild species gladiolus and something like the one I just showed you. And it's beautiful. And really unusual. So there you are, there's the flowers. So the gladies are out and they haven't been flattened, which is just lovely. So what else can I show you? There's a smattering of roses. Oh, look at this. Rose petals on the ground. And something that I have to pull out. As pretty as that flower seems, it invades. And I'm going to do it right now. There we go, it's gone. And, we have these sort of floppy roses that are a bit old, blowing in the breeze. And this is something that's lovely when it flowers. It makes these beautiful bright blue flowers. So looking forward to that. It's called a commelina. The peace rose has a single flower on it. The sun is too bright for really good video. There you go. If I shade it, it's better. It's a lovely yellow rose. And this one's really pretty. Pink roses. So, yeah, we got some flowers. Now, this is the renovation edition part. Tomorrow, this will change. This is the window that's been limping through. You can see under here, bloody big hole, right? And I discovered, and there's another one there and another one there. And there's rot all the way along the bottom of this rail. Tomorrow, that's going to get changed out. Long story short. So it's been quite a dance getting here. Hi, Linda, morning. Not just with money. I mean, I'm very grateful there is a family trust that can actually manage to pay for this, because I can't. But inside me, it's been really interesting having the experience of finding out on Friday that tomorrow it's happening. After, at least 6 months lead time. I thought I'd have about a couple of weeks to get organised, but we had a very hard weekend doing a lot of paint stripping, and today I've got some sanding to do. My husband will help me. Hi, Charlotte! It was a long weekend, and yesterday the weather and the schedule said, no, you're not doing anything, which was kind of a relief because we're all tired and sore. So, anyway, this is the pre-renovation edition. Now, what I want to talk about is expectations. And the expectations, I mean, you'll both see this, Linda and Julian. You had this wonderful conversation about expectations, and that's what made me think about this. Because there are people in our lives who, by their behaviour or by how they look or what they do, in us, oh look, we have a little friend, trigger a neural network that says, the last person who looked like that or said that or behaved like that, or that person the last time they did that, it means that this is going to happen next. Well, thank you, Linda. It's a great hat, I tell you. We have these absolutely sensible and, real, if you like, expectations about what A plus B means it's going to be C. The problem with that is that isn't always true. It isn't always true. It's quite often not true. And the more you have a preconceived idea, expectation, it happened this way before, that person did this thing and they're going to do the same thing today, the more you shut down the limitless possibilities about what can actually happen and say, before it's happened, it's going to be this. Tanuia! Morning, gorgeous! Well, it's the evening for you. Good evening to you. And I really want to sort of think about this for a moment at least from the point of view of quantum possibilities, because there are limitless possibilities, there are infinite possibilities available to us in the unified field, and we've talked about how to connect with the unified field, and you've got to become no body, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. And when you become pure awareness, you enter this infinite field where all possibilities exist and you can connect with them. In the process of, and not just connect with them, you can actually create them and begin to observe potentials into matter and begin to bring them and draw them and love them into your life, which is not about all ushy-gushy sending hearts to something. It's making a heart connection, which then begins to draw that thing to you. But you can't go to that place and do that thing if you have a fear or an anger or that person, they're always a bitch or, an asshole or whatever. You can't go and connect with something new and wonderful if you have a thing running inside you which is basically based on your past experience that says it's always going to be like this. You can't do that. That's why you have to become no one, nobody, no thing, nowhere, and no time. You've got to drop all that stuff to be able to let something new in. That's just a fact. So, it's so counterintuitive because logic says if that person was mean to me yesterday, they're going to be mean to me today and they're going to be mean to me tomorrow. But here's how this works. If you march up to somebody that you've never met and they're mean to you, the first thing that means is that something in them responded to something in you and they did that behaviour. So there's two pieces, there's three pieces in that. There's you and there's them. And then there's the whatever it was that came out of that. Which means that they don't have to change for something to change. Hi Heather, lovely to see you. You can change you. Now, take the example, which is similar to what Linda and Julian were talking about yesterday. You look it up if you're curious. It's great. It's a great story, and it's a great, oh my goodness, this is the way you need to change it. Awesome. A sort of a more generalised example is somebody who goes to school and, a child who goes to school and they meet someone and there's this sort of bullying interaction. Now, how does that happen? How, in a class of 30 new children or 25 children or whatever who've never met each other, does the one who ends up being the bully find the one who ends up being the victim? How does that happen? No child goes to school thinking, let me find someone to victimise. It's much more unconscious than that at that level. I think that's why this example sort of fell into my head. So, without being an expert about this, okay, but this is what I think happens. Energetically, unconsciously, the scared victim and the bully that wants to feel powerful resonates with another child that is feeling the same kind of fear, but is kind of on the flip side of it. They magically, energetically draw each other to each other because they're on the same frequency, and then the behaviour plays out. That's what happens, really. I honestly believe this. So, grown-ups are no different. We're a little bit more aware sometimes. And increasingly, if we start to pay attention, we can become very aware. And you think, okay, so that person that was nasty to me yesterday that hurt, I feel sad, and naturally I am reluctant to walk up to them and have a conversation with them today. You know, colleague, sibling, parent, friend, whatever, person at the store that you go to every week. Naturally you're reluctant because your experience says to you, they were mean to me. I expect them now to be mean to me again. But what if they were having a shitty day? What if they've had people be mean to them every day of their entire life? You know, that's their thing. So if you go up to them expecting them to be mean to you, they almost have to fulfill that self-fulfilling prophecy. They almost have to do it because they're not going to change their consciousness, are they? They can't. You know they're unconscious. You know they're a victim, just behaving out, you know, acting out something that unconsciously they're acting out a program that I either got to be mean to people or they're going to be mean to me. That's on some level what they're doing. But what happens if you change your energy? What happens if you come out of the space of saying this person's going to be mean to me, and you go into the space of saying, hang on a minute, if that person's being mean to me, they're feeling pain. Guaranteed. The only reason people do something shitty to someone else is because they feel awful inside. You do get the person with a different brain, by the way, which has been discovered, the sociopath has a different brain, they just don't feel empathy. But, you know, it's a different situation. People who are not neurotypical, and I don't want people, if I say somebody within the autistic spectrum, I'm not putting them right next to someone with a sociopathic situation, but they are the same in that they are not neurotypical. And we think, oh, they don't have a normal brain like me, that means there's something wrong with them. No, they just have a different brain. They have different rules that function inside their head about how they behave. Diversion. But if I realise that whatever's going on in their state of being actually doesn't have to have anything to do with me, and if I say, I'm going to approach that person who scared the crap out of me last time, and before I do, because I'm aware of how I want to feel, which is I'm scared of that person, I know they're going to hit me, or whatever, you know, hit me emotionally, whatever, I'm going to get myself into a state of wholeness in me, and love in me, and compassion in me, and as I walk up to them to have that conversation, I've still got to have the same words in the conversation, but I'm going to do it from a place inside me, which is recognising the fearful person in them. Ultimately, all these shitty bad behaviours that people do come from fear, unless they've got a different brain, and then there's still usually fear involved. It's just the brain is different, and, you know, the rules are different, but it's still what happens. And you totally can't change a person's actions. You can only choose how you respond, how you react, or more than this is where I'm playing today, how you are before you go to it, before you go into it. Or when something happens that you don't expect, to think, whoa, oh dear, I'm going into fear here. Can I remember that if I come from a place of love, if I come from a place where I'm trying to recall my own wholeness and not needing that person to be something for me, whatever, if I can come from a place where I don't need them to like me as much, or I remember, even as they're being horrible to me and it's scary, that this isn't true and it's their pain that is making them behave like this, and it's got nothing to do with me, and I don't have to take it on. I don't have to think I'm a bad person. I don't have to feel guilty. I don't have to feel low. I don't have to feel scared, even though my survival reaction is going on. If I can do that, I'm opening myself up to many, many more possibilities about how that interaction could happen. Because I'm not defaulting to, oh my God, this is a scary person and they're going to be scary to me, and I'm going to respond to them as a person who's scared. See, that locks it down. You're guaranteed to have another bullying experience, or whatever it is. I'm just sticking to the example. But if you can shift yourself into a different state, you totally change the game. Devin, it's lovely to see you. Yay! You totally changed the game, and I'm sure you're talking to me, by the way, but Facebook's only showing me the odd comment, so don't be discouraged. Keep talking to me and I will write you back. So this is the thing, and I'm not saying it's easy. Oh, let me read this, Linda. I can't read all of it. A friend who drove you nuts. Yes. You changed where you came from and it was all different. Exactly, Linda. Exactly. This is the power that we have, and we give it away because it's not so obvious to us. That person's being a bananas, whatever. They're behaving like a person who's forgotten that they're divinity in a body. And we either get to buy into that or walk away from it, one way or another. You can walk away from it physically, and sometimes you really have to do that. Or you can walk away from it energetically or emotionally. Kristen, morning, gorgeous. There's so many ways, but to actually step out of our pre-programmed response, which is based on our experience, which is all very logical and sensible, but it doesn't open up the possibilities. If you want more possibilities, you've got to come from a different place. And of course, to come from a different place, you've got to realise where you have been coming from. Joseph, good morning, gorgeous. It's lovely to see you. I'm so glad you're here. That choice. Well, first of all, that awareness to catch yourself in the middle of the same old reaction, knee-jerk response, and think, whoa! And that might be all you can do the first few times, is to think, oh my God, I've reacted like this for the last 10 years or 3 weeks or whatever it is. How do I want to respond? Notice, go from react to how do I want to respond next time? The next time I feel this reaction happening, because it's going to happen, it happens. Your body does it for you without any help, because you've learned it, you've programmed it. Your body has learned how to be the mind of the victim or the fearful person or the angry person or whatever. It does it all for you. So the first few, or maybe many times that you notice, oh my God, my body's doing this for me, the first question you've got to answer is, how do you want to respond instead? How do you want to respond when you feel your body going into, angry titan mode? How do you want to respond differently? That's the first question you've got to answer. Because when you know, then you have the ability to go, oh shit, it's happening again. Whoa, can I now flip myself from here, flop over there? Flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop. You do heaps of that, right? That is the growth process. If you're not flip-flopping, you're staying exactly where you are. If you are flip-flopping, then you're making progress. And people get all tied up in knots because they can't just go from here to here in one day. But you've been here for 40 years. So it's going to take you some practice to get used to being here instead. Yeah, being mindful makes things easy. You're right, Victor. But that's the first thing. That's the flip-flop, isn't it? Because you wouldn't remember the time when you weren't mindful, and then you learn to be mindful. And after a while, the first few times, it was like, oh my God, I got to pay attention. Flop. Okay, back to my unconsciousness. Hang on a minute, I completely forgot about paying attention. And you pay attention a bit more. Flip-flop, flip-flop, and you get better at going to the other side of where you want to be. This is the normal process, folks. Don't get upset if it takes some time to retrain a brain from being, isolated and afraid of everybody to actually thinking that, gee, I can open my heart and more people who are like that, open-hearted, will connect with me and see me and love me. Expect it to take some practice and some time, and most of all, for you to design what that feels like. For you to work out who that self is and how you're going to be that self. That's the process. It's not some magic wand that you wave and suddenly you know who you're going to be. We have to become that self, and we have to explore that self moment, by day, by practice, by step, by choice, by, flip-flop. Totally. And it's a laugh some days, and other days it's just, oh, God, I'm so tired of this. I'm exhausted with making the choice. I've had those days. I will have those days again, just about different things, because there's always something new for me to grow into. So, that's my rave today. Hi, Berna, gorgeous. Expectations. Just be curious. What do you expect of that person the moment before you walk up to them? What do you think they're going to do and be based on your past experience? Based on your past experience, it says nothing about limitless potentials. Just let go of some of your past experience and open up to more possibilities, and you just might astonish yourself. Because that's what, well, I astonish myself from time to time, and that's part of how I do it. Now, I'm going to be back in about 3.5 hours to give you an update on our beautiful Sang Marie Gomez, his nursing training in the Gambia, the miracles that we have manifested. What a ride. So I hope to see you then if you're still up and if it fits, and if not, there's a replay. Big love. I will see you then. Bye-bye.